100 episodes in. We're doing it. We're there. We did it. And this is just the beginning. We're going to get started with a live production of today's episode here in less than a minute. Just wanted to take a quick second to thank all of you here on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and those who listen in on the podcast, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, which this episode will be going live in a couple days, specifically on the 1st of September. Interesting how that works out. Just want to take a second to say thanks for the support, for the love, for those of you who comment when you come in, for those of you who had shared this with others, and for just giving me any amount of time in your day. Today is planned to be a very important episode that we will refer to for hopefully many years to come. So here's to episode 100, and here's to many more, and here's to your success. Let's hop in and let's bring this to life. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with episode 100, another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here up at the top, we're at episode 100, and while we could take time to celebrate and do a whole thing, this is just the beginning for this show. This is just the beginning for my vision for what we do here on Client by Client, for what we do here at Leverage Coach, and for what we do in the Get Clients program. So I wanted to say thank you for the last couple months of your time, of your attention, for listening into the show, for supporting in any way that you have, and say thank you for 100. Here's to the next 100, and here's to hopefully 1,000 more. This is just the beginning, but any and all of your time and attention to me means the world. In the last episode of Client by Client, we talked about boosting your on-camera confidence. There is, I don't think, and today we're going to talk about probably the most meaningful thing that you can be focused in on in your online business. But if there was one thing that's going to help you to elevate, besides what we're going to talk about today in a couple minutes or in a minute or two, there's one other thing that could take your business to the next level. It's not only confidence, but it's confidence on camera and confidence in bringing video, which is the most important medium today when it comes to long form and short form content. And when leveraged properly, I think becomes the easiest and gives you the most amount of leverage for growing your online business. And for the few of you who might not have the on-camera confidence yet to show up every single day in your online business, getting this right changes everything. So whether you're already pretty confident on camera, maybe you're uber confident or supremely confident on camera, head back to episode 99 to get some of the tips that I share for boosting your on-camera confidence, sharing some of the failures and successes I've had with getting to the point of being able to show up every single day, whether it's for this show, on story, over on Instagram, and just doing long form content, and even things like speaking from the stage. When you get this right, it changes everything else in your online business. The only thing that could potentially impact things more is what I want to talk about here on today's episode. And what I want to talk about is your deepest and most meaningful work as an online coach. And before we crack this egg open and make an omelet here today, let's talk about what this isn't. What this isn't is your legacy. Making your legacy, forming your legacy, not your deepest and most meaningful work. What this also is not is success stories and having case studies. Nor is this the impact that you will make as an online coach and the many people that you will serve and that you will change the lives of. Nor is this the revenue or the money that you will make, that you stand to make, or that you have made and earned as an online coach. What this is, your deepest and most meaningful work as an online coach, is elevating your mindset. It's taking care of that thing that's going to drive everything else in your online business. So let's hop in and let's talk about why elevating your mindset is your deepest, most meaningful, and most important work that you will do and that you can do right now as an online coach. The first reason why is because nothing great is possible without the right mindset. If you are not looking at and caring for yourself in the right way and examining and extrapolating, big word alert, your thoughts and your feelings, it is really hard to do anything great and to do anything meaningful. The chances of you stumbling in success without you having the right thoughts, without you thinking things in the right order, without you coming from a place of confidence, yes, but also coming from the right place of care from your heart. Without this, nothing is great. So if you do want to have an amazing legacy, you got to elevate your mindset. And if you do want to have many success stories and leave a amazing impact of life change behind you, and if you want to make all of the money, you absolutely must elevate your mindset, because the issue is that if you don't elevate your mindset, it is like a thermostat, meaning you will always set back to that level of comfort. And so for many of you listening, that level of comfort is going to be the sum of the top 5 people that are around you, or the top 5 influences you have in your life at best. So I want for you to think about the 5 people that you've spent the most time with in the last 90 days. I want you to think about the top 5 people that you've spent time with over the last year. I want you to think about that over the last 10 years and over the last lifetime, over your lifetime. And if, let's say, you had a spreadsheet or a way to calculate and a way to look those things up, do those 5 people embody and have the life, the business, the legacy, the success stories, the amount of lives changed as you strive to, as your ambitious mind, as your ambitious self is desiring? If that is not the case, and I think that there are probably a few of you who that is absolutely the case. And I'm not saying that every single person in your life that maybe has not hit the milestones that you're looking to make, or the money or the legacy, that those will not have a positive impact on where you're going. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you could take those 5 people, and the average of that will be, unless you change things now, will be what you stand for your, that will be what your financial thermostat is, what your mindset thermostat is, what your emotional thermostat is, and what your success and confidence thermostat is. What's great about this equation and understanding the sum of those 5 is that that's something that you have a direct impact on, that right now you can start to change. A couple of things that I did to change what that equation was in my life. Number 1, I started minimizing my time and exposure around people who do not have what I want, who did not do the things that I want. And I love my family, and I love my friends, and I love my social acquaintances. But I do a hard analysis of, do they have what I want? And also, do they have the habits that are going to get me to where I want? Because that's also a part of the financial and success and mental and emotional thermostat, is that whatever their habits are will become yours. We are mirroring animals. Monkey see, monkey do is probably the most true, non-scientific adage next to ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Who you're around shapes your habits. So my thought process is, who already has the habits that are going to lead to the kind of life that I want? And if I don't have immediate access to those people, and I, for whatever reason, cannot pay or afford to be around those people and in those rooms, the next best option, what is that? And I think that is podcasts, books, content, and material from those people or about those people. Nothing great is possible without the right mindset. First, you make your environment, that's the people that are around you, and then your environment, the people that are around you, make you. Nothing is possible without the right mindset. Nothing great is possible without having the right people that are around you. And so your deepest and most meaningful work, when you think about the levers that you have of controlling that, is getting around the right people who already have the habits. Now, the hard part about this is the people that have the habits that you want, they probably don't want your habits. And this is where elevating yourself begins to become the game. So what winds up happening is that when you surround yourself with better content and people that, I'm not going to say better people, but I'm going to say people that have the habits and the lifestyle that you're wanting, which for you is probably better than worse. When that happens, your thermostat starts to change and your level of comfort starts to change. Therefore, when you leave those people, or you get around the family and friends that maybe don't have the habits and the lifestyle that you're wanting, that your temperature is going to fall. But you start to create the kind of mental structures and the kind of habits that would cause for you to bring yourself back up. So where after a weekend with the family, you can on a Monday simply just reset and get back to the day to day. Or you go and spend maybe more time over the holidays and you need a day or two to shake it off. And then you're back to where you were, surrounding yourself with the same kind of content that elevates your mindset, that gets you back to where you want to be. And then you just become the kind of person that doesn't need those things. The first part of the deepest and most meaningful work you would do as an online coach at elevating your mindset is understanding that nothing great is possible without the right mindset and without the right people and information around you. The second reason why elevating your mindset is the most important thing that you can do and the most meaningful work you will do as an online coach is because this is also your point of attraction. Whatever you are thinking and feeling right now is creating the scenarios that are unfolding in front of you. And when you start to accept and take responsibility for those things, what you start to understand is that no one can impact you or set you off if you don't allow them. No set of circumstances, events, assholes in traffic, douchebags in society, fear in the media can get you off track when you take responsibility for what's going on in your head and when you start to own what starts to get into your eyes and your ears as you start to get further in as an online coach, as you go full time as an online coach, and as you start to get full freedom of what you do, which leads us into what we're going to talk about in the next episode. We'll get to that here in a minute and when the time is right. Life is not happening to you. Life is not happening for you. It's deeper. Life is happening from you. And when you start to take responsibility for understanding that all of the past circumstances, whether you're judging them or good or bad, they've happened because of your mental attraction set point. And when you start to take responsibility for what you're thinking, the electricity in your thoughts and the feelings you have in your heart, the magnetism that you're setting out, what you wind up realizing is that you were lost and didn't know that, and that's why you got a bunch of mixed results. And that when you start to get those two things in alignment and you start to get selective about what it is that you want and become aware of the thoughts that you're having and are they in alignment with what it is that you want and what it is that you desire, your life starts to change shape. This is where they talk about the miracles of healing. This is when they talk about the unthinkable happening and catapulting you to where you want to be in your life into a whole set of different circumstances and scenarios. And when you take responsibility, and the faster you take responsibility for this, the faster your situation, your life, and your circumstances change. And people will think that you're lucky. People will think that luck was bestowed upon you. But in all reality, all you did was redeem yourself by changing what it is that you're thinking that impacts the way that you're feeling, and start to take responsibility in full awareness and consciousness of those things happening. Life is not happening to you. Life is not happening for you. Life is happening from you. And when you take ownership of this meaningful work of elevating your mindset, and you become aware in a full picture of what you're thinking and what you're feeling at all moments. It's a skill set. It's exhausting at first, and then it just becomes your mode as you get good at this. What winds up happening is your point of attraction changes, and you go from attracting the things needing to get you to full time and needing to get you to 10K to bigger and better thoughts that impact everything else, where the circumstances, resources, scenarios, and synchronicities that are required to get to you to where you want to be start to just unfold in front of you, and you start to ride this wave that from the outside people will not be able to understand. And what you will know is that by taking ownership of how you're thinking and how you're feeling at every moment and starting to elevate that in your point of attraction, everything begins to get impacted and everything else changes. Thing number 3, lastly, for why elevating your mindset is the most meaningful and the deepest work that you serve to do as an online coach is because your mindset is what keeps you in the game. Alex Hormozi has been sharing this thought most recently that you don't win at the game of business. And the way to win is simply by not quitting. You cannot lose if you don't quit. And when you change the game, the time of the game that you're playing, aka time horizons, and you stop thinking in daily and weekly and monthly and even yearly time horizons, and you start thinking about the next 10 years, you start thinking about the next 100 years, hell, you start thinking about your legacy that stands to be created over the next 500 years, you've now entered the top 0.1% of the 1%. You leave the rest of society in the elevation of your thinking because now you are putting your mind and your heart in the kind of place that will withstand time. And when everything is said and done, you will have been thinking from the end. And when you're thinking about 500 years down the road, you start to play a different kind of game. The greats of our time think like this. They don't think in days, they don't think in weeks, they don't think in months. They act in the moment, but they're thinking on 1,000, maybe even 10,000 year time frames. And those sort of thoughts lead to a whole different set of results, therefore a whole different set of actions from this present moment. And when you start to think from that end of what that would look like, what that would be like, you stop worrying about the bills, you stop worrying about revenue and money, and you start worrying about things that are so much more meaningful, that will mean so much more to you when everything is said and done and when your life is said and done. And in doing this, you don't have to worry about legacy, the money made, the case studies and the success stories and the impact. You will have made that because of where you got your mind, because of where you got your feelings, and because you understood that elevating your mindset is the deepest and most meaningful work that you will ever do, not only as a coach, but as a human being. In the next episode, 101, in the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about how freedom comes from structure. We talked about the transition of going from part-time to full-time to being able to control everything that you do, everywhere that you're at, what your eyes see, where your ass is, what your ears hear. And I want to talk about how you get there and what sort of structures are required for becoming the kind of coach that has that full autonomy, full freedom, and full ownership of your life. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox, where you're losing leads in the cracks and you're leaving clients and money on the table every single month? That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and turn prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and the many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time, and get it while it's still free. To download your free copy now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got 100 coaches from all over the world in varying different coaching niches, all implementing my strategies for starting and scaling your online coaching business. Get access to them, access to me, and access to my most impactful resources 100% for free. To get your free invitation now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting some coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social media platform, list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, find me at WhatUpJeremy, follow and binge on some content while you're there, and then send me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from all over the world to crush it with my strategies, mindsets, and frameworks. And then we'll identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your online business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. All right, team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's to 100. Here's to 100 and 1,000 more. We're just getting started. We're just getting cooking. Drop me a 100 in the comments if you made it all the way through to the end. It means the world. Let's make magic together. The only way to do that is by focusing on the right things, elevating our mindsets, leveling up our emotions, and leveraging them to help more people. All right, guys, that's it for me. Peace out.